Alright, what are we gonna do? Fourth position. Oh, we're up against a book reader here. We got Abomination Alia. We got a book reader. Mimic Orders is interesting. It's a bit of an argument for one of the faction racers, of which there are three. Hollow Projector's Jetto is good for Beast, but probably not for much else. Ooh. It's kind of a fun little row. Well, given there's three racers here, I think there's something to be said for avoiding that whole noise. But I like that with Leto we could hypothetically open Haga Basin, tech negotiation by Mimic Orders with Ring. So let's try that. Let's go Leto and see if we can get like a Ring Mimic Orders thing to go off, because that's what happened last time I played Leto and it went pretty well. Just gotta remember to do it in the right order, because if you do the Mimic Orders first, you can't take the Ring bump. So, Hundro and Beast, interesting. So, one of Tessia or Baron won't get picked. I actually think Paul is a very good pick here. Paul can quite easily get to a 5 or a 6 if he draws his ring. He's the best at getting some kind of BG combo to go off here. It's just that I think if I was playing Rise of X, I would have picked Paul, but I found that the weak leaders in Rise of X get much weaker in Immortality. I find that there's more of a gap there. So, like, Paul, I just don't have a good experience with, unfortunately, in this expansion. Although I do think there's an argument to being like, okay, if you're going to have Tessia, Leto, and Baron in the pool, right, why not go do something else? Okay, so we do have that option now. So we can go, like, Signet Ring, Haga Basin, Dagger Tech Negotiation. That only works properly if Fold Space gets taken, but it does, so no problem there. No one's going to go to Haga Basin. That's not the issue. The issue is that I probably am not going to be able to get Tech Negotiation second action. That's really the struggle, I think. So if I do Experimentation Signet Ring, I end up with 3 Persuasion. If I do Dagger plus Signet Ring, I end up with 4 Persuasion. Nothing useful at 4 here. So I think we should open Experimentation here to get the extra research. Interesting that he opened Imperial Basin, though. I don't really quite understand that, to be honest. Because if he wanted to go Mimic Orders, he would just go Mimic Orders, right? Okay, this is really weird. So he's going to go Fold Space. So now the whole thing changes. Maybe we don't even do the Mimic Orders thing, right? I mean, they just gave me smuggling. So because now there's going to be like multiple guys sitting on Guild, and Hundro sitting on Guild is especially bad because he's sitting in front of me. So I think we do completely change direction here, and instead we start smuggling. We could even go into Mentat off of this because it's 1 Solari. And, try to build Persuasion for getting one of the higher cost cards. Although the next hand is good. I don't know that we want to force a shuffle. We'll see. I mean, if Hardy's available, Hardy's probably the best option. But that doesn't use our ring. I don't know. There's a lot of different ways we could take this. Wealth is also good, but as Leto, we don't really need wealth. Okay, so why did he... I'm confused. He opens Hollow Projectors. Interesting. I've never seen round 1 Hollow Projectors before. But I admire the ingenuity there. Like, if it helps him get to, like, a 5 or a 6, it's probably worth it. What an interesting idea. What did he discard? Seek allies. Huh. Okay. I don't know that I would give up on smuggling for that in second position. Actually, I know that I definitely wouldn't do that, but the idea is certainly interesting. The problem with Hardy Warriors here, of all things, is that if I Hardy Warriors, Baron's got a card. Now, yes, it is the card that that Hunter didn't want. Let's do this. Build our persuasion. So yeah, getting a convincing there is great. It puts us up to 5. It also gives us the ability to know how many daggers Baron has. So see, now we know that if we go Hardy Warriors, unless, it's not going to work. So we can kind of stay away from Hardy, conserve our water, and block Baron on Hardy next round, if that's what needs to happen. So yeah, Beast gets to 5 off of that, so good on him, honestly. So probably here the play is just a wealth, and it's just a very delayed wealth. Why would you go to 5 and then get the 3? That's very weird. That's very weird. Why not get the Thufir or the Keys to Power, dude? I thought that was the whole point of your inventive play. Okay. you're the boss, man. So we can't get Thufir if we play a wealth. If we go to Arakeen, we only have a 50% chance of getting Thufir. But we can probably get some spice. The problem with going wealth here, in my opinion, is that Hundro... Well, I don't know. I was going to say Hundro's going to go smuggling, but probably not. He's probably going to go full space. He has a Seek Allies in the next hand, but he also has 2 experimentations, so I don't know. If I do Diplomacy to Wealth, I don't really get a good card. I have to Detonate. Which is unfortunate, because I would really like to have Thufir. But the thing is about Arakeen, it's just half the time I don't get anything out of that anyway. So I think we are still best off doing Wealth. Plus we're Leto, so the Wealth has more long-run value. Now, we could do a space travel here. I'm not opposed to that. At 4, it's kind of tough detonating because you don't know if you're going to get something good or not. And detonating this early can sometimes be risky. So I wouldn't mind space travel as a way of building persuasion. And maybe we take it to full space sometimes. I don't think I want to detonate. There are, a small number of cases where we flip Whip of Power. But I don't think I want to get into that just yet. So, Detecting Kit is better than space travel, so maybe I should have detonated. It just depends on how much value I get out of the detonation token later, essentially. The problem is that we don't have any persuasion in the next hand, so we're not going to get these cards either. So I think it was correct to detonate, because when you have the convincings, you kind of have to. Well, I only have 1 convincing. Baron goes up on Guild. Okay, well that's a problem. I should have considered that, because now what's going to happen is Hundro is going to say, well, I can go up on Guild, but then Baron's just going to beat me this round to it. I don't know. We'll see what he does. Beast could also smuggle. I don't really know what to make of Beast, so this is kind of interesting. Second place in the combat, though, would get me pretty dang close. It would get me pretty much to a Swordmaster, because somebody will smuggle out. We redrew the convincings, actually, which is interesting. That does enable some potentially useful stuff. So Beast actually ends up blocking smuggling. So that's pretty much bad for everybody but Baron. Because Hundro and I get filibustered, and Baron gets to do his thing unimpeded. Yeah, not great. Although it's not completely true that Hundro is getting filibustered here. So we want to place second in the combat. Baron does have faction, but he probably will not go Hardy. He will probably go Interstellar, so we don't have to rush Hardy. But nobody's cashing out now, so maybe we have to seek allies to Wealth. Decisions. What if let's do seek allies to Wealth, I guess. But then how am I going to deploy to the combat? I could open with Mentat. It's a little bit awkward, though. I think this is better. So basically, we have a few ways to get into combat here. We either take experimentation to a spice space. Interesting up-down. I wasn't expecting that. So he puts me to 6. Okay. So now I don't need second, I only need to place, basically. Which makes Mentat more reasonable. Although, if I go Mentat, I'm going down to 4, and then this doesn't really do it anymore. Although it's actually fine, because then if Hundro can't really deny me at that point. Okay, so I guess we are going Mentat. Is that his ring? I don't think he played his ring. He must have played it last round and I just missed it. So 2 troops from Beast, so there's a commitment. But I have the most troops of everybody, so I can definitely make something work. And if I'm Mentatting, I'm stalling, and I should be able to make that happen. Now, there's a chance that Baron goes Haga Basin and locks me out of the combat. I don't see that happening. It's not a high-value space. It's honestly weird that the space got visited last round, but I do have to consider the fact that Hundro and I both require spice for our rings. So, you know, the spice spaces are going to be more scarce than usual. Now, what happens if we Mentat and we draw another dagger? Because that's going to suck. Early reveal? What? Oh, he doesn't have any actions left. He's stuck. Should we Slig Farmer? I think this is actually a good Leto card. I'm kind of talking myself into Slig Farmer. I don't know, we're last to reveal, so best not to get married to any of those cards yet. He takes Keys to Power, interesting. I would have taken Reverend Mother instead, I think. And he doesn't deploy, which means we're guaranteed a spot in the combat if we want one. Again, unless unless we go Mentat. Okay, so Slig Farmer's gone. Contaminator's available, but that won't make it back to me. Let's do this. Signet Ring. That's much better. That lets me stay at 5. Go to Haga Basin, deploy, also pump faction. So, it's kind of the best of all worlds, really. The only problem is I can't win the combat at Haga Basin. But I think that is better than any alternatives. I can't place second in the combat at Haga Basin, I mean. But if I go to 6, you know, I get it from Hundro or I get it from myself, I think. There's green in the next hand. There's wealth access in the next hand. So we should pretty much have it. Looks like we're getting through fear here unless Baron has a lot of persuasion, which he does not. He has a convincing, but one convincing shouldn't be enough if you don't have a tech negotiation. So I think weirdly enough, I think it's Haga Basin here. There's an argument for like just going to Arakeen and just trying to win the combat that way. And just saying, hey, the combat point's more valuable. I say throw 2 troops in. Go up with the faction. That Mimic Quarters is still there. Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Is he going to detonate? I think he's going to detonate. Nope. Nope, he does not. So at this rate, I wonder if we're better off saving for Stitch Horror. Contaminator is an excellent card. But we're out of water, so it can't go to Hardy. Just save my stuff. Give myself the option, you know? It's not like we would draw the Contaminator next turn anyway. Is this going to be a 3-way tie? Wow. That's kind of funny. Cool, so I get first Swordmaster. It's not super, super early, but it's early enough. And of course I secured my beloved Mintat. So we're out of green, and Thufir doesn't have green on him, so we need to be cognizant of that and try to acquire more green. I'm inclined to just get rid of this row, actually, because there's not really any good green there. It's like Initiate, which is like whatever. I pretty much don't buy this card unless I'm doing BG Synergy. I just don't think it's worth that much. It's fine on Armand if it's like replacing your ring. This is better than your ring most of the time. Okay, so Mimic Quarters is gone. Spaceport, yuck. Okay. So Beats is kind of the odd man out here. He doesn't have any guild at all. He doesn't have a Swordmaster next round, this round, or the round after that. He has the round after that. So like, you know, he's talking about getting a round 5 Swordmaster basically. So you know, he's got to make use of his Holo Projectors because that's what he spent his early game investing in. Hopefully no one goes to Fold Space, so I can play my Space Travel. Get some card draw. So Baron is officially at the 3 specimens, and he's not getting his Swordmaster, so he is going to end up with the Stitch Horror. You could argue that I should have taken the Contaminator. I don't know. We'll see. Ooh, selective breeding. I don't think he has enough research for that yet, does he? Oh, he does. Okay. So he's got something going for him. He's got, like, this weird little deck building thing. I wonder how this game would be different if there were 3 cards in the row instead of 2. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would make the Talaxi row a little bit more dynamic. I do win a majority of my Lotto games. I think that this game is in good shape overall. Baron getting a second Swordmaster is not great. But he didn't get the combat point last round, so he's not like crazy ahead. Okay, Wealth. Interesting. I don't know that I like that play. I mean, you're sitting 4th in the line, so you don't make it, unless you have some clear application. I don't see it. This is definitely the play, by the way. I think we draw before we add the Fold Space because we don't really want to draw the Fold Space here. Okay. But we do draw a Fold Space, just not that Fold Space. And I'm inclined not to play Thufir. I'll probably just reveal him for the intrigue. Although the idea of Baron winning this combat almost uncontested is pretty noxious to me. I don't think I have a way to prevent it unless Thufir rolls me into a good card. Beast might be able to do something about it. I mean, I could take, like, Reconnaissance to Arakeen, but that's only deploy 2, and Baron's already got 3 intrigues. So we're talking about kind of objectively being at a disadvantage. I think the more logical play, like if we have a combat card, we probably win either way. So I don't think the extra trip from Airkeen matters that much. At that point, we're better off just like doing Diplomacy of Stillsuits, I think. Deploying one, and then hoping we get a good card, right? I don't see the need to detonate here. The like 3 persuasion is not good enough to get a good card anyway, so just save our token. Yeah, it's gonna need to be an ambush basically, and even then he'd have to not have a card. So we may just be getting value at this point. Although I enjoy a good Bene Gesserit sister. Sherdog's not it. Sherdog to Thufir is good, but probably not worth the 2 specimens. It's not that bad. I don't know. Maybe Beast beats him, I don't know. He's got 2 troops. But no intrigues, he has to have daggers in hand, he just trashed one, so I don't think it's going to work out. Yeah, he's just trying to limp in for value. But hey, we get the sister, so it's not too bad. Shadowy Bargain. Well, that's interesting. So now we want to go ahead and get the Contaminator, I think. Pheromones I'm not sold on. Let's just get the sister. Space travel kind of outlived its usefulness, although it was very good this round, so it's hard for me to complain. And it's certainly better than a convincing, so we're going to trash it. But it did what it was supposed to do. It gives us interstellar shipping this round. Interesting that he's going with the... I mean, it makes sense. He's got 2 graft cards. I kind of like what he's doing, honestly. So we only get a spice out of this, so probably wasn't worth the troop. I was kind of banking on either getting a combat card or just getting water spice from Beast not participating. Doesn't always happen that way. This card is probably not very good, but it might put us over the edge to get a point, so it's not terrible. Technically, we could go we could do like Dagger to Dreadnought, buy Deado and a Dread. Obviously, it's better to go interstellar shipping though. So we can use Signet Ring at shipping to pump a faction twice. I don't see that as being useful. If we use Signet Ring, we have to go up on Guild, which I don't think is that desirable. So I think we're just doing experimentation here. Push Emperor Alliance. Scarab. Take the spice, it's more valuable in a very general sense. Okay, Baron, you can have your Swordmaster now. Never great when you have to play a full space Swordmaster. I mean, it's fine, but no one likes doing that. You know what? I kind of like the Deado play, honestly. The only problem is with Beasts in the game, it's going to be kind of hard to win combats. But having a Dreadnought makes it easier. We do have the sister for a 2-dagger reveal in a clutch situation. What do we think about Mentat here? It takes away the option for Dreadnought. But the option could reopen itself if someone smuggles down. Baron doesn't have any reason to want to do that right now. Hundro or Beast does though. Okay, so Mintet's off the table. We're water short of being able to go to Great Flat. So is everybody else, but we don't have any way to bridge that gap. So I think it's just going to be Dreadnought here, actually. We don't have really a better play. I should have bought Wind Traps so that I could get to Great Flat. That was dumb of me. I thought about it right after I bought Deado, and then it was too late. I'm thinking I want to go to Carthag here. Carthag or Haga Basin. I don't know that Haga Basin is that needed. I mean, it does give us spice to selective with, which is nice. We have multiple BG access, so that could be good. But next round we'll have shuffled, and then we won't have cards to trash. Okay, Carthag's off the table. Could just go smuggling. The problem is we're not going to get ourselves shipping again for a while. Especially with Hundro in the game. He's going to be pressuring smuggling. So we probably don't have a slow path to it either. Good lord, he's got 9 cards in hand. Honestly, respect. So we guess we could also go to if we go to tech negotiation, we stay at 5. And then we could buy the wind traps, but then we're not really using our ring, and it's kind of awkward. But it does set us up for this enormous spice, like, on the Great Flat, so I kind of like it. Like, Hundro can take still suits. That's actually perfect, because that blocks Baron from taking water from still suits and cutting me out. So I think that actually means that this is the play. It's weird, because it doesn't let me use the Signet Ring. But I think having, like, 7 spice is worth that, you know? And 5 persuasion. Now, the downside is, like, what if I just go to Haga Basin? I can throw in a Dread and a Troop, but that's not actually enough to beat Beast. So yeah, let's do the wind traps. Invasion ships. Okay. And we're gonna detonate here to try to get something good. Unless Beast like buys cards, which I think he's just going to get an SMF, to be honest. Based on the way he's played so far, I think that's probably what he's looking to do. It's a weird Hardy because it doesn't actually give Baron Masterstroke. Maybe he's setting up for a future Masterstroke. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Okay, glad I didn't try to fight him. So honestly, though, I mean, I go the Treachery here. I don't go with the SMF. We'll see what he does. This Chair Dog opens up a Twisted Mentat, which is not going to happen. Should we use a Shadowy Bargain to buy a Scarab? It gives us an Intrigue. But it's kind of just worse than using it at the end of the game, right? And we're not under any pressure. I mean, it helps us maybe towards the spice, but like, well, if we draw, basically if the next hand contains both Contaminator and an Experimentation, then that could be really useful. Let's blow the row up first and see what happens. I think he bought an SMF, right? Yeah, he did. So, detonate. So it's probably Stilgar here, right? I guess I'm just reassembling the Atreides household, huh? I mean, Stilgar's not part of the household, but you know what I mean. Yeah, let's do Stilgar. X-Guild Compact is like a valid option as well. And then I'm going to go ahead and use a Shadowy Bargain. And I'm going to go ahead and claim forces. That keeps my hand churning, too. Strong Arm's okay. It's not great. We've missed our ring more than once this game, so it makes sense to have a little bit of extra faction, potentially. If it steals an alliance, it's a good card. I could have gone Sayadina. Yeah, we have a Contaminator. Maybe that was the play. I don't know. Stilgar's good. Especially if your goal is to win combats, right? We get both water and points from winning combats, so I think Stilgar is still the play. I do always feel weird when I don't have any cards in my trash, though. But right now, we should be a lock for the Great Flat, unless somebody has an intrigue card, so that's nice. The first detonation token coming out at the very end of round 4 is not something you see all the time. But I've noticed that I'm the most, like, liberal player when it comes to those. Like, everyone else plays them much more conservatively than me. Now, why would you play that unless you have another card? I mean, he's not going to play a card, so why wait? So why not just play it? Like, there's no reason Beast would ever play a card. What? Oh, you're just moving above Hundro. Okay, I see. But weren't you already above Hundro? I don't know. That was weird. Ooh, demand respect. Okay, Beast is actually kind of cooking right now. Guild bank rate's pretty worthless. But the fact that it's worthless actually makes it a pretty decent combat. And we did draw Contaminator Experimentation, so we should be able to get the spice from the point here. We're technically a point behind, but I think with the text that we have, we're actually a little bit ahead. So depending on, like, our first action depends kind of on where the water falls. Because if no one goes to Still Suits, then Still Suits probably needs to be our first action. Because Contaminator really can only be played to Still Suits by me this round. Interesting that Beast can't get Swordmaster this round because of the hit he took on Mentat last round. Which gives it to Hundro, who I think is overall in a weaker position, although he's probably going to get his Mammoth Quarters to go off, so maybe not. Carthag. So he's just going full bore combat. That makes sense in this case because, like, it gets him to 8. So he kind of challenges Hundro to have the green, although of course Hundro will. So Hundro does go Swordmaster. So let's do Contaminator here. This is a good opportunity to deploy our Dread. I don't really want to use strong arm here because I could easily get beaten by Master Stroke. Baron gets a High Council seat, okay. Mentat gets snagged. He's going to draw a lot of cards still, but the problem is he's got an SMF in his deck that he added in like round 4. Maybe round 4. I don't know. The spice is looking pretty juicy, though. We could even Highliner, although I don't think it makes any sense. Just having access to Highliner is good for what our deck is doing. Because with wind traps, I mean, Deado, I think you kind of need to be in a Highliner loop. And honestly, winning the combat does give us Solari that we can use to go back and buy more Dreadnoughts. It's a little bit... It's worse than having a combat like that's a point. Like, definitely worse, but... You know, it's not useless. I don't know that we want to put another troop in here. We kind of want to have a troop in for around for strong arm. If we put it in, we can always just strong arm on the diplomacy from the combat, and having it there will deter somebody from wanting to fight me because the combat's not that good. Like maybe Beast wants to because he doesn't have Swordmaster, but he's not competing for anybody with Swordmaster, so it's like, why does he care? He can take his sweet time. Turn order won't matter. So we should be able to get the second Talaxu point this game because we have a Contaminator. We need 3 more. We have 1 specimen at the moment. We can easily get 2 from the track. Yeah, it's pretty much impossible for us not to get that point. Even if we never played the Contaminator again. So where do we want to go? Selective could be nice. Highliner is logical but overkill. Secrets is probably not the best. Could go Wealth, but Wealth is kind of also not necessary. I mean, Wealth helps us get an alliance, which is nice, and it does refill our garrison. I don't know. There's arguments to be made either way. I don't think anyone actually wants to fight me for this, so there's no reason to go Conspire. I like Selective, but we don't have a card to trash. We have to trash like the Experimentation, which is not ideal. We risk drawing into the fold space, so I'm actually thinking that Wealth is the play at this point. I mean, it's way more money than we need, though, is the problem. Techs aren't really good. I mean, Spy Sets is a good tech, but not for us at the moment. Like, we're Leto, we don't need it. I mean, we kind of need to work our way up BG. I guess it is Selective. Yeah, I think it is Selective. So what we're going to do is we're going to trash Experimentation. Go up to 5, maybe 7. And I think we strong arm from the combat. But why, though? Because we're probably going to get back to there again. I think we just need to save it. Because we're not, like, at risk of running out of intrigues. Or, like, being at theft range. I was reading the Dune Reddit today, and one of the threads was, is streaming dead for this game? I feel like there used to be a lot of streaming content for this game that just died off. Am I missing something, or is it dead? And the second highest upvoted comment says, Manta's my favorite content creator for DI Digital, very consistent at posting videos on YouTube. So I said thank you. I appreciate it. I do think things are dying off a little bit, though. Sorry, I'm distracted. So what's happening? So Baron reveals at 8, acquires shifting. Raban reveals at 4 daggers. Okay, I guess he's fighting me after all. But I can just flip my way in front of him with the sisters. So it's not really that big a deal. And I think I should. Now there's an open question whether or not I should detonate, but I think I should do that also. Because we're getting all this money, right? So let's see what the Thufir card is. Chome shares. Okay, we definitely want to win the combat now. Okay, so Truesayer is a good card. Is it good enough to justify replacing other cards in our deck? Because our deck is starting to get kind of big. I think it is. It's faction with an agent box. It's hard to beat that. Surely he's not going to use a combat card on this. He just needs to place to get a Swordmaster. 1 point and 1 water for winning is a big swing. 1.1 water and 6 Solari, actually. Okay, so now we're at 772. We have a ton of resources. Very rich. And the deck is mostly junk, although it's not terrible junk. These 2 cards are good. This card's not. Full space to draw into some of that junk. We want to win the combat with Stilgar and our daggers, so probably what we're going to do here, assuming that Interstellar Shipping is taken, which I think is a safe assumption, we're going to go back to Dreadnought, buy another Dread. We have the spice to buy a tech, but I don't know that we should. Invasion ships will refill our garrison, which is pretty great. Is that better than saving spice for Highliner? Probably. Because I don't think we're going to take the Guild Alliance, so it's nice utility, being able to infiltrate spaces, and it's most of the troops. He loves Mentat. I can see why. He's got a lot of agent action. He's honestly doing about it. Like, he's doing more agent action than most people, and he doesn't even have a Swordmaster. It's honestly impressive. Interesting that, like, those two have been blocking me on Mentat as consistently as they have. I got it the first couple rounds, but afterwards it's been more hit or miss. But I think we're on track to win this one. We're 2 points ahead now, and we have a point in hand as well. Although it's not quite the same thing as a point in hand. So because we have the wind traps, we have a little bit more freedom to reveal Stilgar. Because the water is mostly provided for, so we can focus more on the persuasion and the daggers, which is nice. We have actually a very high persuasion deck. We could probably get SMFs if we got a high council seat, but that's risking our Chome shares. I don't know. Then we could always just go, like, you know, the end game, go like up down on Interstellar Shipping when no one cares about the spot anymore, and probably be fine. So far, our intrigues have been Shadowy Bargain, which came from Thufir, Strong Arm, which came from it came from the Scarab track, and then Chome shares, which came from Thufir again. Spaceport. Training drones is interesting. It does help us with the Deado, but I think it's a little too late at this point for that. Let's go ahead and do this. Buy the invasion ships. That should easily win us another combat. with all those troops. If we go to Hardy Warriors, we can win the combat and also strong arm our way to the Fremen Alliance and shut out the counters, the Master Stroke. Because he can Master Stroke, but he's after us, so then it'll be harder for him to take it. The other advantage of going Dreadnought buying invasion ships is the action compression. It gives us the Dreadnought that we need and the troops that we would need from Highliner later. So it's doing multiple things that we want. Film is interesting. I don't think we're actually going to get more than maybe one Spice Whistle this game, so I don't think that comes up. But Secrets is kind of a priority now, right? Because he's at 4 and he's Baron. And we need one more on BG. So there's many reasons why we like Secrets at this point. Research-wise, we probably want to do this, or maybe this, depending on where the factions are at the time. So the nice thing about this is we have invasion ships, so we can go wherever the heck we want now. We could even do Research Station. I don't know what to think about that, because Research Station is a nice SMF thing, but like we're not getting SMF. It's not happening. But the research is good. And it's a combat space. And we have repeatable water sources. So there's a lot of things to like about it. But no one went to Secrets, so that's what we're doing. Always steal if you can, is my motto. And here we can always just pop our strong arm to prevent ourselves from being at theft range later. Okay, so it looks like we stole a Vicious Talents, which is actually pretty good when you get a breakthrough in the hand. Do we want to strong arm here? I think we do, because this is still riskier, so let's strong arm up BG. We kind of have the troops to do it now if we want. Okay, so 5 persuasion, 4 daggers in hand. I kind of like signaling the Research Station here. It also gives us a specimen. Vicious Talents would then also be an ambush, so we'd be likely to win the combat. But we would be locked out of Spice and Highliner. But we're going to be locked out of Highliner next round regardless, so I don't know. I guess that's not technically true. If we go to like Great Flat and then participate in the combat, we get to 6, but that's probably more trouble than it's worth. So for once, Raban did not have like an 8 card hand. I don't know if that's because he has like an SMF in hand and he had the more limited actions available. But like we're like 3 points ahead of Baron and Beast right now, so I think we're pretty safe in this game, honestly. Detto is one of those like build a snowball cards. And so is Wind Traps, for that matter. So I think we're doing Signet Ring Research Station here. We could do Hardy Warriors. That's going to give us more combat juice. Slightly. Because we do 4 troops instead of 2 from Research Station and like 3 from Stilgar. Oh, is this a discard? It is. Okay. Well, we drop a dagger and a convincing, I guess. Sucks to suck. Hunter does thread an Emperor, but we have Ring for that, so I'm not super worried. Although Although Signet Ring here isn't that good. Like, what are we gonna go up on? Like Guild? I don't care about Guild at this point. Although it's not entirely true. There's three Solari here. Okay, we just go up on Emperor. That's actually better because we get troops for the combat. Then we steal it because we go, you know, here plus breakthrough. Boom, we steal. Yeah, this is definitely the play. We do this. We research to here. To here. We go up here. We pop the breakthrough. We steal this. And now Stilgar should win us the combat, which is another point. We may not even have to use the talents, which would be ideal. I don't think we buy anything here. I think what we've got is strong enough and we don't want to add to it. Unfortunately, going this route does lock us into the weak trash specimen option. But, you know, that spot on the track is honestly kind of weak all around. Like, this is the best of the three. This is the most fun, but usually, you're like, oh, I turned a bad intrigue card into another bad intrigue card, and a card draw that didn't matter. Like, you take that option when you're behind, and it usually doesn't work for you. Sometimes it bails you out, but usually doesn't work for you. And yeah, we'll have built a big enough lead by round 6 that probably we don't compete in the combats anymore, but that's fine because we've already banked, 2 Deado points. This takes us to 10. We're actually 1 Solari off from winning in round 6. 1 Solari short. Was there another way to do this where I go up on BG instead? I don't think so. So we reveal, go 12, we buy nothing. And we have the Vicious Talents in our back pocket just in case. Baron actually revealed early. Wonder why. Oh, Beast is an AI. How long has that been the case? Gruesome sacrifice. Okay. Have I just missed it that he's been an AI the whole time? I feel like he must have disconnected in the middle. But I feel like we were waiting on him earlier. The trash is actually very handy here. We don't want to trash daggers, paradoxically, because we haven't picked up that much green. Although we do... And that's not true. We have the Bene Gesserit sister and the Truthsayer. But I think Reconnaissance is probably still worse, because we're probably not getting SMFs, right? So might as well keep the Mentat path open. And we also want to win combats. So yeah, Reconnaissance is the one to go. Deado to 10. And yeah, we're kind of burning our resources, but that's okay, because we get 1 Solari, game over. No one can possibly beat this. So we do have a research in hand. That probably doesn't matter. So we just want to reveal it. We get the same thing. So how are we going to get our 1 Solari here? Let's see what Hunder does. If Hunder tries to fight with us over wealth, then that might change things. Or we could just go Truthsayer to wealth, and that locks in that point, prevents it from being stolen. Or we could just instead chase the Alliance on BG instead and go secrets. That seems maybe better. So Interstellar Ring allows him to go up on Emperor if that's really what he's committed to, which probably should be what he's committed to because I'm so far ahead he has to try to stop me. He doesn't have an intrigue card, so he doesn't have any way to actually steal it. And also by doing that, he's putting himself further away from his Mimic Orders. Okay, yeah, he's not trying. So because he's not trying, we can just safely go to secrets and be fine. Quid pro quo. Okay. Not necessary, actually. Signet ring is also not necessary. So we dump the signet ring for a convincing. And I have the... No one has infiltrate because it's been played. No one has Web of Power, and I have invasion ships. So nobody can go to secrets. So we're safe to hoard cards if we want to. So game's over. We don't even need the Solari. He's finally going to trigger his Master Stroke, and that's going to steal... Actually going to give him 2 points. It's going to be 2 alliances. It's just too late for him. I guess he doesn't get the Ferment Alliance just yet. So, what value can we get out of Ixion Probe? We can discard a Convincing, and we can discard an Experimentation too, honestly, because, yeah, we're at the magic number 3, but, like, we're not getting to the end. The game's ending too soon. So, might as well discard an Experimentation, right? Wonder what would happen if we went Hardy Warriors and tried to reveal Stilgar for the point. I think it's plausible. We do have the Vicious Talents. So, get rid of these. Okay. The daggers are actually not that helpful. Yeah, it's a little awkward, actually. We could just Mentat and, like, invasion ships our way into wealth. That also works. Sure. Where's my Mentat? Come on, Thufir. Come on, man. Okay, so Baron's getting the combat. The thing is, he doesn't have the resources to take advantage of it. I mean, he's got water, so he can go to, like, Great Flat and get 2 points, but that's not going to be enough. I'm simply too far ahead. I wonder if Abomination Aaliyah dropped out at the very beginning, and that's why she didn't go smuggling. And did the weird Holocrators thing. I guess I'll just check the tape when the video uploads, because that would make sense. It was a cool play. It was inventive. It just didn't work. Didn't make sense. Maybe that's why he's doing wealth so much, so he could use his Slig Farmers. Okay, let's go ahead and lock up Emperor. Lock up Chom shares. Beast looks promising. I wonder if, I think maybe he was around and then left in the mid game and then he kind of fell off for that reason. Or maybe it's because he never got his Swordmaster. I don't know. I mean, technically he did get it, but it was irrelevantly late. I feel like we haven't drawn the space travel much. We drew it like one round. I know for sure we drew it when we went to fold space, like round 3. So let's go ahead and chum shares so we don't forget. Oh, no. What we want to do here, actually, doesn't really matter what we do, but what we want to do here is we want to still guard like Carthag. Arakeen could be more fun if we draw into Thufir. But Carthag. Does he have another scarab? Does he have a scarab point? He does have it, but he can't get one. So, yeah. So in the end, I would say that the I don't think that the entry card, the first entry card we got, the Shadowy Bargain, mattered. It did let us get the spice sooner, but I think we were going to get it either way. Tyhundro. For the sake of it. Alright, Baron, you got 4 in-game points in that hand. What would that even mean? Plans within plans, and also, like, corner of the market, not possible. He doesn't have any SMFs. There we go. It's been a long time since I had one of these. Feels pretty good. Cool. Okay, so the texts were pretty interesting. I think I kind of went off the beaten path with these, but I really enjoyed it. Leto's just, like, I've always say this, but, like, Leto's like vanilla ice cream, but sometimes vanilla ice cream is just good. You know what I mean? Like, he's just Dune Imperium TM. Just, you know, kind of good stuff, you might say, if you're used to playing other card games. But I think the experience of playing Leto is still fun because this game is good. Even if my enthusiasm for it is not where it was a year ago, you know, it's still a great game. Thufir, I think, really deserves a mention here. Thufir gave us the Chom Shares point. He also gave us the Strong Arm, I think. I think he gave us a Strong Arm. I don't know. In any case, he was really awesome to have. Stilgar was also very important. Stilgar helped us win last round's combat, without which we may not have won the game, although probably we still would have won. Yeah, probably we still would have won. Contaminator actually did end up mattering here because we only, like, without the Contaminator, we're actually a point short. Although I suppose you could argue that if instead of buying Contaminator, we had bought a Scarab, we would be in the same spot on points. And the difference instead would be that, like, we don't have, we have basically, instead of drawing Contaminator, we drew some other card. But the Fremen access was necessary, right? We're not like, we can't afford to go down 1 on Fremen and still end up where we're at. So point breakdown, 1 combat, 2 alliances, 4 influence tracks, Chom Shares, 2 Deado points. Always a good game when you get 2 Deado points. I'm going to say MVP card was Thufir. Although Space Travel definitely deserves a mention as being unusually good in this situation. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you take a look here, you'll see that I've been resigning a lot of games. Ooh, look at that, 634. That's not good. That's not where I want to be anymore. Originally I calibrated at like 200 or something. This is, yeah, let's ignore that.